And with that being said, um, his book From Victims to Victors, I don't think that was a book that book was it was defined as sort of him being this elitist guy who wasn't in touch with what people were going through. And I didn't see it that way. I saw it as him saying, "You're special, we're supposed to be extraordinary, we're supposed to be great. What's wrong with us telling ourselves that we're supposed to be great? You know, I'm not meant to be the white man's sycophant. I'm not meant to be his little bitch. I'm not supposed to be his slave. I'm not supposed to be his little sidekick. I'm supposed to be a leader. I'm supposed to stand up and be strong. I'm supposed to read the books. I'm supposed to learn things the way he learns things, right? And so sometimes self-esteem plays a big part in how we even view ourselves. And so even financially, when I lay out the 5-year pledge, or when I laid out Project 2070, which we're in year 12 of that, I told you in 2013, Project 2070 was basically a formula I put together. Remember, I'm a financial scientist. I have a whole doctorate in this. I said, if I can get 1% of the Black community to listen to me on this, I don't need 10%. I don't need 100%. I ain't gonna get 100%. If I get 1% of Black people to listen to me on some key ideas when it comes to economics, by the year 2070, we will have a segment of the Black community that will be seen with as much power as the Jewish community has when it comes to wealth, because wealth is a cumulative process. It's a matter of deciding which part of this society you want to be positioned in. Do you want to be in the power position, or do you want to be in the victim position? You have to make a decision. So with that said, that whole plan was really built on a belief in Black exceptionalism. It was built on this understanding that, hey, we can be better than what we are. We can do better than what we do. We can take ourselves to the next level if we want to. And ain't nothing elitist about that. There's nothing arrogant about that. There's nothing inappropriate about that. The only thing that's inappropriate about it is that people want you to know your place. People want you to think that being Black means you're supposed to behave a certain way. And they put that in the media and they say, well, you don't smoke weed, well, you ain't really a Black man, or you don't speak a certain way, you ain't really Black. If you don't, if you got, if you ain't got babies, mamas, and all this other stuff, you ain't really Black. And I kind of think that this is the kind of stuff that makes it challenging when it comes to the whole wealth experience for Black people. But literally, Project 2070, I wrote about it in my book. It takes a village to raise the bar, and I did a whole tour around it in 2013. The Minister Farrakhan joined me in Chicago. Cornel West joined me in New York, in Brooklyn. That's why we're going back to Brooklyn for the All Black National Convention, because I've done 2 events in Brooklyn. Each time it was packed. You guys came out, and I love Brooklyn. And if you haven't been to Brooklyn, you got to come. They have some of the smartest Black people in the country, and they're also courageous. In the South, you got smart folks, but sometimes they're a little nervous and scared. They don't want to make white folks nervous or upset white folks. But in Brooklyn, they don't care. They're assertive, intelligent, and capable. And I think that that's really one of the pockets of solid Blackness that you have in this country. Now, with that said, let's talk about this whole accountability thing. So what Damon Wilson was saying, I'm gonna play this clip one more time because I want us to really analyze this. And I want you to apply this to someone in your family in terms of how you view accountability as it pertains to wealth accumulation, just how your family views it, how you're trained to even look at it. I personally argue that we're not even trained to look at ourselves as people that can be accountable for our condition. I think that we are trained to believe that we are products of our environment.